Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Faith. Thank you so much for being here. If as you watch you like what you see, definitely subscribe to my channel. Just hit that red subscribe button. That would be awesome. Today I wanted to do like a casual glam makeup look. This is the makeup look that I wore in one of my recent videos. It was a Walmart haul and a lot of you guys really liked the makeup look I was wearing, and I think it's because it was pretty like natural in terms of the face and lips and everything, but then I added some nice lashes and some definition on the eyes. So it's a really simple yet glam look that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Again, as you're watching, if you like it, make sure you're subscribed and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get right on into the tutorial. First thing we're going to do is prime the face. This is very important to make sure our makeup stays, and this also will give us a nice healthy glow that will look natural and kind of like lit from within. So what I've been loving to use is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I do like 2 full pumps, so it's kind of a lot, but I love it. I love how it makes my skin look through the makeup. I did already do my brows with the Anastasia Brow Wiz and my Glossier Boy Brow. I am considering doing an updated brow routine. I do already have a dedicated brow routine if you're looking for one, because I know a lot of people do ask, but it has changed a little bit, mostly just because of my hair color change. When I did the video originally, I had like an ombre, so I did more of like a light brown brow, and now I do a darker one, so I may do an updated one. Let me know in the comments if you really want to see a brow routine from me. Next, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer. This is my favorite BB cream tinted moisturizer, hands down. It gives such good coverage, and it's a great color shade match for me. It's kind of like a yellowy tint, and this is light medium. I'm not sure if I said that. It's also very hydrating. If you're oily, I don't know if you'll like this because it definitely hydrates me a lot, and I'm very dry, so it's pretty hard to hydrate me. I don't know why I just put that on with my hands. I like never do that. I did that in my freckle video because I wanted like more of a sheer coverage, but I normally either use a brush or a sponge. This is the Sigma Kabuki brush. As you're putting on a BB cream or a light coverage foundation, don't worry if your skin doesn't look its best. We are going to go in with concealer, and that will significantly help. And we're also going to set the face with a powder that is specifically a foundation powder. So that will again add another layer of coverage. So right now, I don't feel that I have enough coverage on my face, but don't worry, we will definitely work on that. So next up is concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I use the shade Light Sand. I'm going to put this on pretty heavily underneath the eye. I really want this covered under here, and this will also kind of help us conceal down on our cheek area. If you have any redness like I do, we'll kind of blend it down and cover that up. I also take a little down the nose for coverage and to bring light to that section of the face and the chin area. I do take a little bit under the lip and kind of like around this area when I don't do foundation, because I do have some blemishes there and just some redness that I want to cover. What I then do is take the Kabuki brush again in these exterior areas and then leave a lot of the concealer there, and I'll use I can't talk. I'll use a beauty sponge to get right up in there, but I've been liking to take a Kabuki brush when I want more of a light coverage look for my concealer because it does sheer it out a little bit more. If you want a lot more coverage from your concealer, I would suggest using a sponge. So as you can see, I have basically blended out everything except for right here, and then I'll just take a sponge. I've actually been liking to take a dry sponge when I'm just pinpointing this area. If I was using my sponge to blend out everything, I would use a wet sponge just because it would just be hard to blend, but because I'm pinpointing a certain area where I actually want a ton of coverage, I'm not actually trying to get any excess product up, I'm just kind of blending a tiny area. I like to take a dry sponge because it leaves a lot of the product there. It doesn't suck up as much. Then I go right ahead and set my under eye. To do that, I've been using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I like to mix these two shades, the kind of light pink shade with the light yellow shade, and I take that same sponge and push right in here. In case you're wondering, this is the Morphe sponge. It's not my favorite sponge, it's just what I kind of had on hand. It's not terrible. I just prefer other sponges, but it does the job, especially when it's on the dry side, like when I'm using it as a dry sponge. I really don't like it when I'm using it as a wet sponge, but as a dry sponge, it's all good. I also kind of tap some of this powder where we put the rest of the concealer in these areas. Now I'm going to do the step I talked about where I set my face with a powder foundation. The reason I do this is to first get rid of the tackiness that is left behind from a liquid foundation or BB cream. This will ensure that everything stays put, but I'm specifically using a foundation powder to add another level of coverage. So my favorite one to use is from Bare Minerals. This is the Bare Pro Performance Wear Powder Foundation. I'm using the shade Golden Ivory today. We'll just kind of tap this on here with a big fluffy brush. I'm using one from e.l.f. and this just gives us a little more coverage, sets down the liquid, and allows us to go in with our bronzer and blush without any stickiness or patchiness. And I personally see a big difference in coverage after I use this product. And it allows you to be so light with your other products so your skin doesn't feel heavy and cakey. And if you do feel that you look a little bit powdery after doing this, which I personally don't think it's that bad for a powder, typically powders look even more powdery than the Bare Minerals one, but don't worry about that because we will go in with a setting spray at the end to basically sink the powders in and make it look like skin again. Next I'll go in with a little bit of contour. This is again a very casual glam look, so we're not going to really like go intense on the contour, but we are going to do a little bit just to define the cheekbones. So I'm going to go back into the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and what I've been liking to do, I think I saw Amanda Ensing do this. She takes like a bigger eyeshadow brush and really defines right here and then bronzes everywhere else, and I really kind of liked that trick. So I mix these two shades here and then I just go right here, and it just gives you such a defined cheekbone. Versus going in with a bigger brush and it kind of just gets messy, this really pinpoints it, and we will blend that out, but having the majority of the product right there in where the cheekbone is, I think really makes it look more natural, more understated, and definitely a better fit for this kind of casual glam look. I'll take whatever's left and just use that for my nose contour. Again, I don't want to do anything too severe because then it would be noticeable and it would kind of defeat the purpose of what this tutorial is about. I'm going to go in and blend this out with this brush from Why Am I Talking Like a Robot? I'm going to go in and blend this out with my Real Techniques sculpting brush. There shouldn't really be any product on this. I mean, there might be a little bit of leftover bronzer, but nothing too intense. Just to kind of blend that all out, make sure it's not so harsh. And you see you get a really nice contour. Then I do want to bronze up the face a little bit, so I'm going to take my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer, which is much more of a warm, peachy, orangey bronzer, and just go right over top the contour, more so on the cheekbone area where the sun would actually hit you, and like on the temples and forehead. Why am I talking so weird? Bring it even onto the cheek a little bit, and definitely get that forehead. We'll take some on the chin here and kind of like down just to tie it together. Next up is blush, and did I pick a blush? Okay, I just grabbed Milani Luminoso because this is like my favorite one. I love to use this for just a really pretty casual glam look. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it just looks really healthy on the cheeks. And I'll put a little on the nose Next we'll do eyes, and this is really, really simple. All I've been doing for this kind of casual look is take a crease brush into whatever bronzer I used. So I'm just going to use this one from the Kat Von D palette, and I just run that through my crease. It just gives a little bit of definition. It doesn't really look like you're wearing eyeshadow, but it definitely looks like there's something there that kind of draws you to the eyes. I just see such a huge difference between this eye and this eye. This eye kind of just looks like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I am going to add a little bit of liner. I'm not going to do a wing because, again, we don't want this to look like a makeup look. Like, we don't want a statement, really, so to speak. We just want it all to be pretty and, like, seamless. So I'm just going to basically thicken up the lash line. I'm going to use this Sigma liquid pen eyeliner. I like this because I can get a super thin, precise line, and then I'm going to go over it with some brown shadow to just really diffuse it. Do you guys need to be zoomed in? I think you do. I think you do. It doesn't matter if this isn't like absolutely perfect, like if there's tiny little squiggles or anything, it's okay, because the shadow and like the blending of that will basically diffuse it all. You just want to make sure that you stay as close to the lash line as possible. You don't want this to be thick. I do like to take it in here because it really defines the inner portion of the eye and I think looks really pretty. Okay, and next I will take this eyeliner brush from Delium. This is their angled brow brush, but I just use it for this. And you can go right back into the Kat Von D palette or any bronzer, or you can go into a brown eyeshadow. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to go into this darkest brown shade in the Kat Von D palette. And you just kind of start by stamping over it. Make sure it's not like too wet still, because then it'll smear. But then after you set that down, then you can start to wiggle a little bit more and diffuse that. And now you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. This one looks a little bit more harsh, I would say, and more like a liquid liner like you tried, whereas this looks a lot more seamless. Next, I will use some mascara. I'm going to use the Lancome Monster Big Mascara. I just got a fresh one. I love this stuff. You could definitely just coat your lashes with this and be done with the eyes. I am going to add falsies because I want to replicate the exact look that I wore in that Walmart haul video. And in that video I did have lashes on. The lashes that I wore almost look like lash extensions. I can't remember if I had lower lash mascara on in the Walmart video. I tend to like to skip that typically because I feel like it looks even more natural. Like, you kind of notice lower lash mascara a lot, especially if you don't have a lot going on the eyes. So I'm going to skip it today. And the last step for the eyes will just be to add the false lashes. And the ones I wore in the Walmart video and the ones I'm going to be putting on today are these ones that I picked up from Amazon. I think I talked about these. I wore these in like a different tutorial. I think it was my Get Ready With Me for my giveaway video. They're from Amazon. I will link them down below. They're super inexpensive. You get 5 pairs for like $3. And I do have to cut them to shorten them, which I have already done to this pair. So you can kind of see the length that I use. So I'll just pop these on. I'm going to use the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. So there are the lashes, and as you can see, they make a huge difference. They're obviously pretty dramatic. The way that they fan out kind of looks like lash extensions. So it's obvious you're wearing falsies, but I think that they're really pretty and kind of just elevate the look without being like too much. I don't know. Then after you put those on, I would just check like to make sure that the band area is nice and concealed. So I just go over with my little eyeliner brush. I think I did a pretty good job putting these on. I wasn't messy today. There definitely are days where I get messy and I have to clean up. So if that happens to you, that is normal. I'm just gonna go over with one more coat of mascara to blend these in with my regular lashes, which I think they kind of already are. These are really curly naturally. That's it for the eyes. I'm going to zoom you guys out and we will finish off the rest of the look. Okay, next I'm going to lips. I'm going to line my lips. I like to just line them with a nude type of color. My favorite one is from NYX in Natural. It's a tiny stub. At this point I need to get a new one, but it's my absolute favorite. And I really have been liking a new trick I've been using to overdraw my lips. So I will share with you how to do that. First step is normal as always. I just overdraw them a little bit with the lip liner. Here, I'll zoom you guys in again. Then my trick is, where are you? My trick is to use this, you can use any sort of liner like this, but this is from Tarte. It's their inner rim liner. It's just like a nude color liner that you're supposed to use in your waterline, but I've been using this to then outline my lip. And what it does is it, first of all, sharpens the line. So I don't know if you've ever seen people kind of clean up their lip line with like a concealer. This does that job. And what it also does, I don't know if you've ever noticed on most people's lips, the edge of it, like after the lip ends, is kind of a lighter color than the rest of their skin. So by lining this around my overdrawn line, it makes it look like it's more natural, I think. You'll have to tell me what you think. I'll have to see if on camera you can tell a difference. In person I definitely see a difference, but that's my little trick. I've been loving it. Then the last step is to set the face and then add a little bit of highlights. I want to try a new setting spray. This is from Gerard Cosmetics. This is the Slay All Day setting spray. It's not like new out there, it's just new to me. I have not ever tried this before, so I'm just gonna see if I like it. Ooh, it has a nice coconut smell and the spray nozzle is so good. Ooh, it kind of has like a cooling effect to it, like my lips feel tingly now. So I like to take my sponge and just pat over that. This will set down peach fuzz, it will set in the powders a little bit better, and it will make your skin look like skin once again. My favorite highlight to use on days where I just want a really pretty light glow, but like kind of intense too, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sun Dipped Glow Kit. And I use this shade here, which is called Summer. But because this is more of a natural look, instead of using like a really dense brush, I'm going to just use a light, fluffier type brush. This will ensure that what we put on our face here isn't too intense. I do take it on the cheek just because I love a glowy cheek. On the nose, chin, kind of all over. And that is it. That is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to recreate this for some like casual yet like cute event you're going to. I feel like this would be a perfect look for just like going out for drinks with friends in the summer. You don't want to be too overboard, but you kind of want to look like really cute, you know what I mean? Thank you all for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!